Recording in progress.
Good morning to everybody.
Morning, Chair.
Morning, morning, how are you? How are you?
Morning, Chair.
How are you, Honorable Mkhwebane? Can we start?
Morning, Chair.
Morning, how are you? Can we start? My apologies for we were supposed to be dealing with the BRRR reports. I propose that we deal with them next week. They are not yet ready. We all understand the pressure that our research unit and our committee secretariat are working under. They are dealing with a lot of issues at once. So if we can just bear with them for today and just deal with the issues relating to the Human Rights Commission. Will that be in order, members?
In order, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Swart. Yes. Now, can we deal with the South African Human Rights Commission? I think all members do have the two letters. One is the letter of complaint from the union that is operating in the space of the Human Rights Commission, and the response of the commission. Can I get a confirmation that all members did receive those two letters? Silence means consent. Can we have a discussion, members? We agreed earlier that we will just deal with the matters based on the letters that we have received. We are not going to conduct hearings. We will decide on the strength of the letters we have received, and we need to do so before we start with the interviews next week. Can I have members who will lead the discussion? So is everybody connected? Honorable Horn?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Let me at the outset just maybe repeat what I said previously when we decided that this is a matter we will have to deal with in some way or form. And that is that, of course, and I think the committee by and large agreed with this stance, that we, in performing our oversight duties in respect of any institution, including the Human Rights Commission, we, of course, are not to get involved in operational matters, but therefore our role is strictly to limit it to ensure that the Commission, and in saying that, one would then say from an administrative point of view, deals with operational matters as and when they arise. So in making this comment, of course, while I might have a view on the merits of the complaint versus the defense, I want to strictly limit my input and observations to, I want to say, matters of process. in that regard, from where I'm sitting and looking at the latest, Chair, I'm not in a position to say that there was a failure on the part of the Commission to deal with the matter. And therefore, I would want to suggest that I need convincing that we must go beyond just looking at it from that specific obligation of the Commission to deal with the complaint. I would be very hesitant to express a view on the merits of the complaint versus the merits of the way in which the Commission dealt with it. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Horn, for your input. Honorable Janje.
Thank you, Chair, and good morning to yourself and members and colleagues in the meeting. I'm not far from the process matter raised by Honorable Horn. Having perused and gone through both contents, the response by the Commission seems to have been comprehensive on the issues that have been raised. I couldn't find at this stage any gaps or something lacking in that regard. But still, one feels that there has to be perhaps a further definite process that would assist in us going towards a conclusion of the matter. A lot of the issues raised have to do with staffing issues, which even the Commission itself would have shortcomings to deal with. They would deal with previous CEOs and so on. You now have a new CEO who's just taken over, who is not linked to any of these complaints and not even mentioned by the staff as having a challenge or problem. The matter has come in front of the committee. In order for us not to create any wrong precedents and entangle ourselves on staffing issues, I would still want to urge and request that we take the view that the new CEO who has taken over, that he be given space and time to effectively deal with the issues that have been raised, and that a proper report thereafter is submitted to us through the Commission, of course, as to how far he would have gone. I think we need to give him the benefit of the doubt and allow him to attend to the issues, because any temptation on our side to jump into these staffing issues as a committee, even though they've been brought to our attention, opens us up to be a committee that gets to be interested in staffing issues, and you allow those who are responsible to deal with those issues to not do their duties. So I would firmly propose that we ask the Commission to allow the CEO to further process and deal with these issues, so that in each issue we are in a position to know that this is how it's driven to some form of conclusion. On one or two issues that are beyond the staff, that we ask the Commission to finalize some of those. For example, that includes allegation about the deputy chair, who's a commissioner, where the CEO might not be able to get into that space, that be attended to. Because between now and December, as well as beyond, as a committee, we have our hands full, Chair, on many other things. And things that require us, that we cannot delegate to anybody. We have identified a number of those. whether it has to do with the TRC issues, whether it has to do with the correctional services matters that we package, if you remember. We might even have, I was thinking, even some evenings where even as corrections were able to do that, and beyond just during the day to attend to those. So our space is full. We should not be even start adding anything because we might not be able to do that. But I think we can direct how things should be done, and that speaks to the process that Honorable Horn was raising. That really would be, and perhaps as a conclusion, so that as we do this from the committee on your side, I think everybody else that would have complained and the responses, and that whatever outcome we come up with here, that they be informed that this is how we are handling this. This is where we are in terms of the process, so that everybody is not in the dark, including the fact that people should know now that next week we're dealing with the interviews in case there was any form of an attempt to influence those interviews. We're going ahead to do those interviews. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Janche. Honorable Breitenbach.
Thanks, Chair. Good morning to everybody. I'm covered by Honourable Horn and I agree with his approach.
Thank you very much. Honorable Nuvot Duhan.
Thank you, Chairperson. My apologies that I was slow to respond, but good morning to everyone on the platform. I'm sorry, Chairperson, for being slow to respond because I was looking for the letters on my different devices, but be that as it may, firstly, I wanted to say that the letter from the Chairperson of the South African Human Rights Commission is very comprehensive and pointed. So I'm very I was happy to read how the Chair and the Commission try to deal with the issues. And then they are very aware that the Portfolio Committee is worried about the performance of the Human Rights Commission, and the performance has really gone down quite a bit. So, but with the new CEO that has been appointed, you know, there's not really much we as a committee can do right now. And I'm sure the CEO is very aware of the decline in performance. So I think we do need to give the CEO time and space to deal with the issues, as the Chairperson's letter concludes at the end, to give the new CEO a chance to deal with the issues that you know, was really caused by the previous CEO. You know, we have to wait for the new CEO to handle those issues. And I'm very happy that both the chair of the commission and the new CEO is aware to take this ahead. So there's really not much that the Portfolio Committee can do at this point in time. So I'd like to leave it there. So I also support what other colleagues have said. And the one thing also, I'm happy that the commission, where needed, you know, in terms of the report or the issues, they use out people from outside of the commission to come and read their report before it's concluded. So I'm very happy with that. So I think we should just leave the situation. It is in good hands, and get them to handle the issue. That's it for me. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Nuvot Duhan. Honorable Swart.
Morning, Chair. Morning, colleagues. Yes, I am largely covered by the previous speakers. I am in agreement with their view. I believe that the new CEO can look into these matters, and the other matters relating to the Deputy Chair can also be dealt with. We do not have the time. We've had a comprehensive response as well to get into these operational issues. I am concerned about the timing of these complaints as well, given the fact that we are dealing with interviews next week, but I am in agreement that we should not get into operational issues at this time, and we should allow the new CEO to deal with it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Swart. Honorable Mkhwebane.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning to everyone. Yes, Chairperson, I've gone through the complaint and the from the union and the response by the chairperson. What I would say indeed is the committee which is responsible for oversight over this institution, and when we receive such complaints, we should be very responsive, which is good that currently this is happening. But again, we shouldn't be passing messages out there and to the staff that the timing or even the response by the chairperson of the Human Rights Commission saying the union, how many people they represent. It doesn't matter, Chairperson. The fact of the matter is, if staff members are raising an issue, yes, it's operational. Yes, there's a new CEO. But then as the members of the committee and honorable members, we should have an ear and we should be responsive. Indeed, we will give the CEO an opportunity to look into all these issues, and especially the complaints which were lodged, how one has resigned and all those. And I didn't see that letter of resignation which is alleged by the union, but we hope that when the CEO takes over, we can then be updated how all these internal issues were dealt with, the issue of the policies of the Human Rights Commission, what are their provisions and stuff like that. But then coming to the issue of the deputy chairperson and the commissioner in this particular instance, the CEO has nothing to do with that. Therefore, the committee should be handling that particular matter. The issue of us not having time, yes, is noted. Yes, we will proceed with the interviews, but I would ask Chairperson that we conduct our own fact-finding, or as well, we give the deputy chairperson an opportunity to also give us her side of the story so that we can understand what transpired, and as well for her to stay away or to refrain if that happened from conducting herself in that particular manner. So I think we should be seen to be indeed overseeing that there are no issues like this which will stifle the performance and the growth of that particular institution. So that's my contribution, Chairperson. Thanks.
Thank you, members. Thank you, Honorable Mkhwebane, for your input. Are there any members who would want to maybe to have a second bite before we conclude? Honorable Janji?
No, Chair, I just tempted by a second bite, but I think the colleagues have, I think, have covered all the areas. It's just one or two small areas that I wanted us to polish. The issue, for example, Chair, is we have a commission that we have appointed, the South African Human Rights Commission, headed by the chair. And I think the point we're making is that issues that are at that level, the first port of call is that body must attend to those issues. And so the issue of the deputy chairperson has got to be attended fully, and then we get a report on that from the commission, including even if we advise them that the chair of the commission needs to source out any further responses from the deputy chair. So we get that report, we stay on on a very due process, a clean process and protocols, so that we don't mess up these kind of protocols, because we will be creating wrong precedents. At this stage, until we get that full response on issues pertaining to the deputy chair or any other commissioner, I would not want us to even have a discussion and call in one of the commissioners. Secondly, Chair, the last time we did interviews, we had similar complaints just before interviews. And so when Member Swart speaks about the timing, it is informed by a historical journey of how things happen, and would want to avoid that kind of a trend, and because we're able to see through it. We're not going to just close our eyes on that when we see there seems to be a particular pattern of how these things are happening. But so far, I'm happy, Chair, that correctly as Ms. Mkhwebane is raising, that we need to be responsive, that the committee, up to this point, we have been paying attention to the issue immediately. The fact that we're discussing it today before next week is proof that even in the midst of so many things we're doing, that we do pay attention to those issues. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Janji. Honorable Mkhwebane.
Chairperson, what I would want to indicate is that, yes, if the collective or the majority would want the chairperson of the commission to do that fact-finding and to report to the committee and get the statement and everything and provide to the committee. It's neither here nor there. It can happen. The fact of the matter is we know that there's nothing which the chairperson can do, because the chairperson can't discipline or do anything to the deputy chairperson or any commissioner. That's one thing. So that's where we come in. And as well, the timing is very critical as well, because if you operate in a space where there's 360-degree monitoring, because those are public representatives. So whether people are complaining prior the interviews, it assists, because you go out there, you say to the public, these are the people who will be assisting Parliament or this democracy. So we need to make sure that even if they are raised, we check on them, they are verified, but then we know what we are dealing with, and we know what kind of commissioners we should be having. Commissioners who will be not having any questionable characters or information which is, is behind their names. But what I'm saying is, Chairperson, is that we shouldn't stifle or we shouldn't prevent people from raising concerns, and we just say it's the timing. The timing is fine. They can bring as more as possible. We know that we will be objective. We know that there would be that information, and we are not saying we'll just consume everything which we hear or any complaint, but we will have an objective process and listen to every side of the story. So I was just saying we should be very careful in how we also comment and give people an impression that, you have ulterior motives about the issue. Even if there's ulterior motives, there's no smoke without fire. So we should always be able to be very attentive and listening to what is happening. So hence I'm saying, Chairperson, whether is the chairperson of the commission to also give us a detailed information and statements and everything, or as far as staff matters are concerned, that is happening. The fact of the matter is we don't want staff and any South African and any person, especially at the Human Rights Commission, to feel as if they are being discriminated against and there are comments which are not proper. And they are the institutions who should be leading by example as far as the issues of human rights are concerned. So thank you so much, Chairperson.
No, thank you very much, members, for the valuable inputs you have made. I think it does give direction to the process. I think having listened to what members have raised, can I suggest the following? That a letter acknowledging receipt of the complaints and the response of the commission be sent before Friday back to the commission. One, we would say that the CEO of the commission would need to deal with all staffing matters and report through the commission, through the chairperson of the commission, a report back to the committee by the 5th of December. We would like to get a report. And on matters pertaining to the commission, because my reading of the letter is not only the issues pertaining to the deputy chair, there are also issues in how the commission has processed some of the things, that the commission would need to deal with the issues raised and report back to us by the 5th of December on how they are going to be dealing with these matters that have been identified. They must give us sort of, we're not saying that by 5th of December things will have been resolved, but they should be giving us a roadmap as to how the issues are going to be handled, both by the CEO and by the commission. Can we leave it at that?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed.
Thank you very much, members. Maybe before we
Agreed,
adjourn,
Chairperson.
thank you very much, Honorable Mkhwebane. Maybe before we adjourn, I would like to raise a few issues. The first one, we know that especially for the inland group, even I think all the groups, even the is inland and what the coastal.
Coastal. We have the coastal. You don't know any sea. Coastal.
The coastal groups that we would like to get the reports, because we promised people when we were doing oversight that we are going to keep tabs on the commitments that were made. I know that we have, at some point, I've received reports from Honorable Horn from Mpumalanga. I've received reports from Honorable Ramulubeng for Limpopo, but would like to get even the recent updates as to how we have been tracking issues with regard to those provinces, so that we can be able to identify issues that the next committee would need to prioritize as a matter of course. For instance, we know that we promised to visit the Gauteng South Coast, Gauteng South, as members who stay in Gauteng and those who will be interested. There are issues affecting the judges in that court, one of them being crime. Quite a number of judges have been marked just before entering the court. What has happened since the last time we made those particular promises? So what we want to achieve is that Parliament must never make promises that it cannot keep. So we would like to get reports from all members, especially so that they form part of the oversight report. That is one. And then two, we are working on this meeting that we are going to have with the legal bodies and the Solicitor General. We have received approval, but it is subject to not us having a 3-line whip. If there's a 3-line whip where there is going to be a vote, in fact, the office of the House Chair said that we must finish at 1. So we are working on those issues. So we were just updating members as to the issues that we would need to keep in mind before we conclude the term. Honorable Jala.
Thank you very much, Chair, and good morning, colleagues. Chair, I think I would want to register that Gauteng report. I'm not sure where is the delay, because we have done it with Comrade Bonang. I think I would make a follow-up with it so that he can get that report. And also, Chair, the request is that if we can also be assisted in our follow-ups visit, because one would want, we have been doing that unannounced visit, but I think it is important that we have to do appointments so that when we go there, we meet the relevant people. We know that we are being expected. I don't know other provinces, but I'm talking for Gauteng because I was available some times ago, and I tried to talk to your office to organize in terms of making appointments so that I can meet the relevant people, so that we can be able to report back properly. But unfortunately, I could not get a favorable or positive response. It's like I must still go that way in terms of going unannounced. But I think going there, people expecting you, it's much better because I'll be able to address those issues with the senior person that is supposed to give me an ear. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I think that you are the convener of Gauteng. The duty of Secretariat is to give assistance to what you have put forward. Because I remember the person who contacted me directly is Honorable Ramulubeng. She wanted assistance with Limpopo, and she was given the assistance that she required. And I think Honorable Horn did the same. So I think what you need to do is to maybe say to me, this is exactly what you want to do, so that the Secretariat will give that necessary support. It must, you can raise it straight with me. Honorable Engelbrecht.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just in terms of the report for Northwest, do I send the report to you only, or should I include the committee secretariat in that report as well?
Yes, it must go to the committee secretariat with attention to me, so that it is kept in our records, and they can also, they would, for things that require what is this thing, research, they would also be able to share that information with the research unit. So it's important that it is lodged with the Secretariat.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, members. I think that brings us to the end of the meeting. The meeting is adjourned.
Yeah, the shortest meeting. Very good.
Thanks. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Recording stopped.